Hey guys, this is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and welcome back to another movie review once again. In today's movie review, this is going to be a movie review on this 2006 romantic comedy film. I actually remember watching a long time ago when I was little. I think my parents watched it too, and from what I remember, I think my mom and dad watched it too. But yeah, it's gonna be on a Paramount film from 2006, and that's gonna be on Failure to Launch. Yep, Failure to Launch. So, this movie is directed by Tom Day, and the music score was composed by Rolf Kent. And of course, Failure to Launch stars Matthew McConaughey, Sarah Jessica Parker, Bradley Cooper, Kathy Bates, Zoe Deschanel, and etc. So, the story of Failure to Launch is about this guy named Trip, like a 35-year-old professional guy is happy to stay at home where he's waited on hand and foot by his mom, Sue. However, she and her husband Al have had enough and decide to get him to leave. They have used subtle methods, so they hire Paula, who will use her feminine wiles to lever him out of the family home. And so that's the story of Failure to Launch. So like I said, I remember watching this movie a long time ago with my parents, and I remember watching it a long time ago. I remember some scenes in this film from what I remember, like, yeah. So I watched this film a long time ago with my parents, and I'm gonna have to say, maybe some people out there have never really seen this film, or maybe most people out there didn't really like this film. But in my opinion, I actually kind of liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Like I thought it was a pretty good film from Paramount in 2006. Yeah, because I also realized that looking back into this film, like I also found out that this film Failure to Launch is also streaming on Paramount Plus right now. But I just wanted to review this film since I remember watching it, and yeah, just for you guys to be entertained. So yeah, it's like because I remember when I was watching this film, there was like many scenes in this film I remember seeing the most, like, and plus I just realized that. Plus, I also realized that I think this movie, there are some scenes in this film where this film Failure to Launch actually takes place in my area I live in, like, Baltimore, Maryland. Like I think there are some scenes in this film where it takes place in Baltimore, Maryland, the place where I live, and my area I live in, besides Ellicott City, but it's not Ellicott City this movie takes place in. This movie actually takes place in Baltimore, Maryland, from and also one of the filming locations, like when principal photography, like during production of this film, like the rock climbing scenes were actually filmed in like some sort of like a rock climbing area, like somewhere in like Alabama. Yeah, and that's actually one of the scenes I remember the most, because there's actually three parts in Failure to Launch where Trip, Matthew McConaughey's character Trip, like Trip actually gets bitten by like animals, like, I think the first time that he got bitten by an animal was by a chipmunk, because there was like a part in this film where Trip was trying to feed like a chipmunk like a piece of chocolate bar, but then of course Trip ends up getting his hand bitten by the chipmunk. Yeah, and there are some, and that's the point, because there are some times where there are some scenes in this film that are meant to be funny, like, some scenes could be funny for the most part, like, like with Trip getting bitten and taken away by dangerous animals, like, and the second part like Trip got bitten by an animal, well, not really bitten, but the second time, like during the scene where they're on this like surfing of some sort. But then of course Trip actually gets pulled off his surfboard by a dolphin, and it's like the dolphin was taking him away. And also, and as I mentioned before about the rock climbing scenes, there was also another part where Trip actually got his hand bitten by this lizard, who pretty much where the lizard ends up laughing at the guys that fall off the rock wall. And yeah. Yeah, and that's the part I remember the most when I was watching this film with my parents when I was little. And the acting itself, it's got talented actors like Matthew McConaughey and Sarah Jessica Parker, Bradley Cooper and Kathy Bates and Zoe Deschanel. Yeah, and Zoe Deschanel, like, so I thought she was good in this film, and there's also a part in this film where you know there's also like a To Kill a Mockingbird reference where I think like Zoe Deschanel's character where you know where she was trying to buy a rifle from like some sort of gun shop, like a rifle or gun shop. But then of course, like, you know, it's like where she and her partner, like, you know, they end up they end up shooting a bird, like, you know, they shot like a mockingbird of some sort. But then of course they both realize that like, you know, it was some sort of mistake, I think, right? Yeah. But yeah, so the acting performances itself, it's great, and Rolf Kent's music score, it was pretty decent for the most part. Like, Rolf Kent also composed the music score for the 2003 Disney film Freaky Friday. Yeah. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the movie Failure to Launch. So overall, Failure to Launch was a pretty good film from 2006 made by Paramount, and I'm gonna give Failure to Launch. I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was pretty good for the most part. 3.5 out of 5. So if you haven't watched Failure to Launch yet, like if you haven't really seen it yet, if you haven't like, or if you want to rewatch this film, or if you want to rewatch it, but the main point is like, but the main thing is, if you haven't seen Failure to Launch yet, then I say give it a watch. It's not that bad. So there you have it, guys. That's going to be it for my movie review on Failure to Launch. And that's going to be it for this video. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying goodbye, everybody, and that's about it.